and the Spade Kingdom arc and the disappointment of one villain but the hopes of a new one, I have serious concerns to ask myself, man, is Black Clover even good anymore? And to be honest, I feel like to honestly answer this question, we have to look at the Spade Kingdom arc as a whole to a certain if we want to continue with the series. I kid you not, the Spade Kingdom arc was assumed to be one of the greatest arcs. It was supposed to top the Elf arc because it started off so fire. We lost Yami, the Black Bulls failed, and we were waiting to Asta, man, and we finally get to reveal who the actual vice captain was, which I'm not gonna hold you, I never once thought about it. I really didn't, but this was such a nice reveal. Everything was working out and everything seemed to be going in the right pace, in the right timing. And I was, not gonna lie, it started off very strong. I was very much so looking forward to this arc. And the arc starts off by being very nice. It reveals a little mystery, but we get straight into action. Nox appears, he explains the situation, and everything is ready to go. One of the only major points I had with this was just, the villains are just getting weaker and weaker, and this was a red flag for me. Because one of the captains literally asked a question, what was their motivation? Why would they do this? And the answer that Nox gave them was, we don't know. Or it's probably so bad that we just couldn't understand it. And I'm not gonna hold you, that's just such a dumb answer, man. Like we need antagonist motivation, and this really does play into the whole series of why I feel like some people were disappointed with a certain number of antagonists within the entire series. It just feels so weak, like to a certain degree, like you don't care to write these motives. Which I would like to add a light little side note is that the Dark Triads themselves aren't necessarily interesting except for Xeon in my appearance, except for their magical ability, which I did find was very creative. You have Dante, who has body magic, Vivica, who has blood magic, and Xeon, who has bone magic, which puts together make a body. I really wish he had a twist where all three of them were going to be sacrificed to make Lucifero, but either way, beggars can't be choosers. But that day would have been a nice little spin twist if you ask me. Missed opportunity. But back to the main point at hand. Everyone understands their mission, they're assigned to their positions, and so they take on training to prepare for the Spade Kingdom assault. So far, the assault's going fire, man. Everyone's all chatting it up, and the captains are having dick measuring competition, and they arrive. Dante has been fully revived, and everybody takes their positions. And at this point in time, it is just pure Black Clover greatness, man. This is just Tobata greatness. This is what he excels at. Raw action, well drawn out scenes, and just well done moments. I kid you not. Tobata, you could say a lot about his creative choices and his writing, but I can say this. He is not Naruto. He is not Kishimoto. He gives characters moments. Because I'm not gonna hold you, I've been wrong about the series many times because I expected it to be like Naruto, where certain characters would get shafted so that the main character can look better. But Tobata is not like that. He's given so much people so many shines in so many different areas and so many different worlds. And I have to tell you, man, this stuff just does well, man. My only negative points I would add about this arc is when he adds unnecessary villains. I think the setup of the arc, the way it was built upon with the three dark unions and everyone else fighting them, would have been a far better way of doing it than having demons appear. If he were to have demons appear, I think he should have used other characters to fight them instead of using some of the main cast diverse. Because, for example, when Asta fought the demon that attacked the Clover Kingdom, I'm not gonna lie, that was a very well drawn out fight, very good fight. But it is nowhere near the fight as Yuno was to Xeon. That Xeon fight was 10 times more better because I actually liked Xeon as a villain. He was an actual villain. We knew his motivations. He had a reason for doing what he did. And that's what I think some of the fan base is just truly upset about with the later villains. I honestly don't understand why he would add more villains when he already had 3 villains that we ourselves can like. The 3 triads on their own would have been a perfect good sway because as soon as they were about to lose, they got their 100% and get new transformation even. I think he could have kept escalating things, adding new people, switching everyone out. This would have been, in my opinion, a far better way of doing it than having adding new upper class demons, mid class demons, because then it just became more of a chore, and I feel like it's just a waste. To the point when Asta fights the upper class twin demons and is easily able to defeat them. Like I said, very good fight, but I still feel nothing because I know nothing about these villains, and that's really just the sad part about it. I have no motivation to care about if they win or lose, and like not boring, but it was just so no. And that's exactly how I felt when Lucifer was just so easily defeated. I honestly didn't think it was anything engaging. I didn't find it fun because there was nothing I can really feel. I don't know his motivation. I barely know what he wanted. I don't even think they know what he wanted. And that's just the sad part about the whole thing. But there are fabulous moments like when Luck, Noel, and the gang is here. I kid you not. He knows how to do hype well. That's his best bet. He just knows how to do hype. And the drawings are just spectacular. I kid you not. I've said this many times, but this man is well talented with the pen. And it shows every chapter. But if we were to get into meaty potato things, we gotta talk about the antagonists within this arc and how some were wasted or some could be better and how some were improved upon and done very well. The first I'd like to talk about would be Dante himself. Dante's fight is somewhat of a mixed bag, and I will say I am more disappointed in the outcome of the whole fight. Well, the first presentation of Dante was truly spectacular, man. He was just a monster. Everyone in the Black Bull struggled to fight and to win that fight, and they were able to win that fight, but only through them doing it together. And I was really looking forward to see how themselves were going to do it again, because they didn't have as many Black Bulls members. And I liked Dante's fight because Dante himself, being so strong, was able to push everyone to their limits. It's what Black Clover is about, surpassing your limits. And Dante's strong enough to do it all by himself, so he can push everyone around them. But this fight around, he himself took the credit of giving the Dante fight to Magma. And I honestly can't say it wasn't undeserved. Magma himself truly did deserve this much. Because out of every single one of the Black Bulls, including even newer Black Bull members, except for Henry, Magma has been getting shafted. And Henry can stay getting shafted because no one cares about him. But yes, this was a very good moment for Magma. I honestly feel like it was something he was missing. I wish they would have put him in the fight and gave him a better power up and then have him win towards the end instead of giving him all the credit alone, or at least having Zora be somewhat part of the fight as well. But all the credit goes to Magma. And this being a good moment for Magma, it kind of ruins my expectations for Dante. Because now I feel I'm more disappointed in him as a villain because losing to Magma made sense. It's just that he lost to Magma. And and I know that sounds terrible, but it's just how, you can't get that feeling. It's like, what if Kishimoto made an actual way that Kiba can beat Madara? It's just that it's Kiba though. It's more a sense of like, it makes the villain seem less, even though it shouldn't, but it kind of looks down them in my eyes. And I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. That's maybe a personal problem I have with itself, but I was expecting more from the Dante fight. Like I said, it was very good for Magma, but I was still disappointed at the end of the outcome. But other than that, I would say the fight itself was very well done. I can't argue with that. And side note, then he got back up and he was supposed to fight Jack, but nobody remembers that. I didn't even think we saw that fight. All we know is Jack won. The Noel versus Vanica truly was the second greatest fight within the whole arc, in my opinion. It was just done spectacular. Everyone's performed at their greatest. Vanica and MacLeod, oh my gosh, I was butchering the name, was truly able to push the cast to newer lengths, and that's all I can really hope for some of these boss fights. That's why I'll put Vanica a higher level than Dante, and it truly was a good fight. The only thing I say Vanica is lacking is that Vanica herself wasn't truly evil, and I feel like that's such a boring cop-out because like it kind of takes away all the responsibilities they did for her characters. Like pretty much everything she did wasn't really bad. She was somewhat being controlled or something like that, and I really hate when people do that with these villains because at that point they were never villains. They were just people that got bad or something, or they were brainwashed, and that's truly and I'm gonna get more into my hate of that later on. But the fight itself was just gorgeously done. Noel getting new transformation, and then out of the woodwork, Nozel Silver pulls up. No matter what you do, I will never forgive you, man. This man top notch in that line, I kid you not, and it was fire, man. And them seeing their mom at the end. This truly was, this arc was great. I kid not. I know I was supposed to say that later on, but this arc was great. And the best fight of them all was Yuno versus Zeon. Truly the best fight. Zeon himself has been Black Clover's greatest villain. I honestly don't care if you like it or not. It's just the facts. I got a reason for why he did it. His reason was very reasonable, and it seemed very plausible. And he wasn't a puppet. He took full responsibility for all his actions and did it because he wanted to. AKA a true villain. Everything about it was just very well done. Even to the words when said, even when thought he won, our tenacity was just better. Tobata really put his whole foot in this damn fight. Everything, man, even the dialogue itself. Even the comparison to Zeon and Yuno itself. Putting them in similar positions, but the difference in their character and their difference in their moments, giving them different outcomes. To even his final words when he realized himself. Without power, neither emotion nor tenacity means a thing. The weak should be discarded. And that truly is amazing, man. I kid you not. Zeon is the Virgil of Black Clover. And that truly makes him one of the greatest villains ever, man. He just wanted power, and he meant it by any cost. The loss of his friend. He truly is Virgil of Black Clover. Because Virgil lost his mother because he felt he was too weak. And he lost his rival because he felt it was too weak. Zeon was just well done. And that's honestly why I can say I loved him. And that's why this fight meant so much more. His motivations are pure him, and he wanted it for himself, and that's just so amazing. I can't stress that enough, man. Villains are just selfish and have reasons for being selfish, and I can agree with the reasons. Just make better villains, at least within this case. A lot of the side note about Zeon wanting power is that he will never ever say that you're weak, because that'll rob him of the opportunity of saying that he's stronger than you. That's a little funny side note about his character that I like. Another negative note I like to add is that I personally don't care if you don't want to kill characters or not. That's how Tobata writes his story. I can agree to that. But I don't like how he tries to play with our emotions by showing all the characters sad and have us believe like it's not. Like, it's just such a waste of paper and waste of my time and trying to get me invested. I honestly am. Like, when he did with the Julius situation, I honestly thought to myself that Julius had died, and I felt so sad for a little bit. And then when he came back, I'm not gonna hold you, he kind of played with my emotions at that point. He took advantage of me. Tobata. I'm taking you to court. But my whole point about it is, I'm not mad if he doesn't want to kill characters. I just wish he wouldn't make a big deal about it. I just wish he would just go straight to healing them, or a couple of sad faces, make it in one panel, and then bam, oh, we got a solution right here. It's like, oh, I have AIDS. Oh, I just invented the cure for AIDS. I don't care. It's a story. It's anime. He can make it however he wants it. I just don't wish he would play with people with our emotions like we're toys or like we're kids. Even with all his downfalls, I would say this was a very great arc, and I truly enjoyed myself. It was just so fun. And that's all Black Clover ever was to me. It's just a fun read. You don't have to think too much. You don't have to put too much mind into there. It's just a fun read. But the main problem with this whole arc, and it's been very obvious, is Lucifero as a villain. And if I were to talk Lucifero as a villain, he sucks. He's just boring. He came out of nowhere, but it made sense. He came out of nowhere. His design wasn't truly interesting. His dialogue was less than interesting. We honestly didn't know what his true plans were, or why he even wants to come to the human realm to begin with. All we know that he's here and he's strong, and now you have to deal with it. And that's such a boring way of having a boss. This is the antagonist. This is the pinnacle of demons. And yet this is all we got, man. It was just disappointing. I'm not mad that Asta was able to beat them. Like I said, it's Black Clover. This is what they do. They pass the limits all the time. I'm not upset with that. I'm just upset that he was such a disappointment as a villain. Because I cannot lie, villains are a main motivation. The protagonist motivates you to want to see them win. The villain motivates you to want to see them lose. And to have an antagonist that honestly I didn't care if he existed or not just made the story dull. It honestly did. But the community did get their second win within the new villain being released, and that it actually was Julius this whole time. Everyone seems to be pretty hyped for this but me. And that's mainly because of my same problem that Julian has, my problem with Vanica. Julius, I don't believe Julius himself is doing this willingly. I believe Julius is being controlled. And like I said, that takes away from him being a villain, because it's not his actions, it's someone else's, and therefore we can't hold him accountable. It's like, I brainwashed you, so they're just going to use that excuse, the same exact thing that they did with William. And I honestly didn't like that. And William didn't deserve that treatment, because William himself was an actual villain, because William's no joke aside, was a willing participant in the elf arc. He himself knew and chose the elves. He was a traitor and they should have killed him. And then you hear the people saying, oh, he was controlled like everyone else. No, they weren't. Everyone else was brainwashed except for him. He had some form of free will and he could have told somebody or left a cryptic message some way, shape, or form. They should have executed him and he should have been killed off the series. But back to Julian being the new main villain. Like I said, I don't like the idea of him not having free will, being mind controlled. I think it would be better if he had free will. I did say that Julian being the main antagonist of the final arc is very well. It does add a little extra dark light to every scene you see Julius in. It makes you question what he's truly about. The saddest part about this is that we're on a hiatus with Black Clover, and we honestly don't know how it can affect. Because maybe Julius is actual evil, or maybe he's being mind controlled. We don't know yet, but from what I've seen, it looks like he himself is unaware of what's going on. And the keynote of people saying that a grimoire itself spell is being activated as long as it's open, but Julius's grimoire is always open. Until now, it's finally closed, and everyone's showing pictures of the clock towers, and time is now moving forward. It raises a question: what spell was he casting? I honestly don't know, but I'm not gonna hold you. I'm looking forward to when the hiatus is over, man. I don't think Julius being in mind control makes him a good villain, but I am looking forward to what type of villain he's going to be. Because, hey, he could be good. I don't think he's at a good start because I don't think he's fully evil, but we're going to find out. But until next time, guys, I thank you guys for watching, man. Please like, comment, subscribe, and stay animated.